Hello, this is a video created by KnifeDen.com, the web's #1 resource for all information about pocket knives and other kinds of knives and reviews. In this video, we're going to be talking about what we think the best pocket knife is, and especially how to choose a pocket knife. So the first thing you need to do is select a blade type. There's lots of different kinds of knife blades out there. Clip point would be the most common type of blade. It's a very typical thing that you've seen before. There's also drop points, hawk bills. A needle point is a much thinner knife, and a pen knife, of course, being the smallest type of blade. In summary, there are lots of different kinds of knife blades, and you can choose between them. After that, you need to select a blade size. If you get a blade that's less than 3 inches, that would be considered a very small knife. That's something you'd use for smaller tasks. A 3 to 4 inch blade is about average for a typical pocket knife. Anything above 4 inches for a knife blade is typically something that would be either used in a collection, or it would be a tactical or a hunting knife or something along those lines. Next, you can choose the number of blades. Of course, we all know the multi-purpose knives are out there, things like multi-tools and Swiss Army knives. So you can get knives that have more than one blade, and as well as a variety of tools. If you're going to be doing lots of different tasks with this knife on a daily basis, that's a good thing to consider. And then, of course, you can also get standard knives, standard blades, which are just, a folding knife with one blade. As far as opening mechanisms go, you can get a knife that opens manually, where you physically open the blade yourself. You can get an assisted opener, where you start the knife opening process, and then a spring kicks in to open it the rest of the way. You can open these kind of knives much quicker than a manual knife. And then, of course, there are the automatic opening knives, or switch blades, where you flick a switch typically, and the knife opens by itself. As for locking mechanisms, there are lots and lots and lots of different kinds of locking mechanisms out there. Liner locks these days are by far the most common, and they're typically the safest. Lock backs are also fairly popular. That's where the lock is countered by a lever on the very back of the knife. And then, of course, there are lever locks, which are pretty much exclusively used with switch blades. And when you're looking for knives, one very important thing to consider is getting a reliable brand. So brands like Buck Knives, Buck of course has been around forever, Gerber, Benchmade, Victorinox if you're going to get a Swiss Army knife, something along those lines. You want to find a knife that is by a reliable brand. You don't want to buy a cheap knife, they're likely to break. So you can see our favorite knives if you go to this web address. You can either click in the URL down below, or you can type that URL into your web browser. The link, like I said, the link is in the description of this video, so go ahead and check that out. You can see our favorite knives. We have lots of great recommendations for pocket knives, as well as lots of other kinds of knives. So thanks for listening, and good luck choosing your next pocket knife.